Hey, and welcome back again. Behind me is my 1956 Volkswagen Beetle, also known as Eleanore. She's a chop top. She's a oval Beetle. And I pretty much pieced her back together from a bunch of junk. So if you're brand new to my channel and you haven't seen my other videos before, you've got a little catching up to do because I got this car and it was pretty much collapsing, falling apart, and just a piece of junk. But anyway, I put it back together and I've got what you see now. And this is holding together pretty good. But one of the things that's been bothering me that I need to work on is the fuel tank. Now this oval, unfortunately, lost its front end. I mean, nearly the entire front end was just rotted out. So I ended up replacing it with that of a later Beetle. In fact, a much later Beetle. It was a 69 front end. And a 69 front end has a very different gas tank arrangement. What an oval Beetle has, as opposed to the later Beetles, I believe starting in, I want to say 1958? I might be wrong, it might be 1960. But anyway, the spare tire area is much taller, so the gas tank sits up higher. But because it sits on an angle backwards, because the spare tire leans backwards, the gas tank mounts further back. So that's why there's a gap here, and that's why this gas tank looks too small. But I've got a solution to fix that. What I'm going to do is take a gas tank from a later model Beetle that does fit in here and cut the top of it off and replace it with this. So I think that will do a couple things for me. One, it'll make it look like it's a 1956 gas tank, or at least something really close to it. And two, it's going to increase my fuel tank capacity a little bit because the tank is actually a little taller in the front. So I'll make it a couple extra gallons in it. We'll see when I actually get it together as to what the full capacity is, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. So let's pull this out and have a look at it here. And you guys are going to love this. First we'll look down at the gas tank hull here. Oh, we see the ground. Now why would that be? That's because the tank has no bottom. The bottom of that tank just rotted right off and fell off. When I got the car home here and I started taking it apart, it was one of the first things I noticed. When I opened up the gas tank, I saw an awful lot of light. But it has a pretty good top. It's rusty, but it's only surface rusty. There are a couple of holes like right about here, but I'm going to cut that all away anyway to make it fit onto a later model tank. So let's show you a later model tank. So as always, if you like my videos, give me a thumbie, click the little subscribe button down in the lower right corner, and pluck the little dingle belly next to it so that way you get updates every time I upload a new video. Please check out my other channels, such as Skeeter the Duck, as well as VV the Duck VV, for some of the other stuff that I do. Don't miss a thing. Thanks so much, you guys. Alright, there's a stock oval tank. Here's a later Beetle tank. And you can see the difference in the size. One of the reasons why, of course, it looks bigger is there's no bottom on that one. But what my idea is that I can cut a section out of this here and then grab this guy right into it. Like that. Except, of course, flatter. I believe I can make that work. I don't see why not. I guess I'm going to have to get my workbench together here and start making some cuts. Yeah, so as I said, my front end is a hack job front end. This is actually from a much later Beetle. That spare tire wall that you see in here is actually as much oval parts as I could scavenge from the old car, cut down and weld back together. I wanted to keep the original body number details, and the screws that hold in the little plates are still there. Those are the originals. Well, actually, those look like they've fallen out. They're probably here on the garage floor somewhere. Hopefully I can find them. But, yeah, I wanted to keep that as original as possible to try to fool people that this thing is still, you know, a stock or, you know, stock rebuilt oval. Kind of, you know, I'm faking it, doing the best that I can. And right there, when people look at that at the show, I mean, they were fooled. They were fooled, so I mean that's the goal that I'm going with. It's just to fool people, make people think, you know, at first glance walking past, and even some of the die-hard purists even didn't notice that this front end is wrong. But yeah, another thing you can tell, if you look at where the gas tank mounts, it's sloped downwards. So the oval one is not only shorter, but it's actually more level. Really interesting. It'll be taller in the front, shorter, and more level. This is actually quite slanted forwards. Anyway, you can see some of my work down in there. You can see the beautifully painted floor pan. No rust, period. That thing's been completely restored. The beam I have to take apart and repaint yet. I just stuffed that in there to get to the car show. It's an adjustable beam. It's got air shocks on it temporarily. And I've got some chrome tie rods on there. I didn't have to be chrome. It's just, that's what I found for sale for a reasonable price at the time I was looking for some. Couldn't find any black ones. Believe it or not, it's one thing I don't have. I didn't have a good set of tie rods, so I had to actually go and buy them. Anyways, back to the gas tanks. Let's see what we can do with these. Now, I don't feel so bad cutting this gas tank because it's not original. This is an aftermarket one. And you say, you know, how can you tell it's an aftermarket? And how to tell is actually quite easy. Once you turn it over, look at all the wrinkles in the pressing. This is not something factory did. Factory had beautifully pressed gas tanks that didn't have any wrinkles whatsoever. So this is Chinese hack job stuff. Sure, the tank works, sure it fits. Yeah, you'll never see it because it's up underneath the car. In my case, it really doesn't matter because of that reason, and if I really want to make a big deal about it, I'll go ahead and I'll Bondo them and sand them over, but judges aren't going to see this at a car show, and I certainly don't care. So since I'm going to cut it anyway, it doesn't matter to me that it's a aftermarket gas tank. And we've got a thunderstorm rolling in. Let's see how much we can get done today before it rains. Well, it looks like the camera's picking it up okay, but I scribed a line right along here where I'm going to cut it off. And I dumped this whole rusty part here. It's just kind of crumbling and falling apart. And because of the contour of the edges here, it's not going to be useful to me anyway. So I'm going to cut it off and try to make this as square as possible. And then we'll go with that and try to attach this to the new tag. Alright, here comes the fun stuff. Something that I've started doing that I haven't really shared with anybody online here, and I have a bunch of jars around the garage just for it. But I've been collecting the iron filings that come off of this car because they're very rare 1956 Beetle iron filings. So that's one of about 4 jars. So all the cuts that I've done on this car have all wound up in the jar. Anything I manage to sweep off the floor that I run a magnet through that gets picked up is wound up in the jars too. Alright, there's the bottom gas tank that we're going to use. Here's the upper. I think it's getting caught on the filler neck over here. But it is flush on the top back section. This tank might have to get a little taller to keep it looking natural. Yeah, I wanted to keep that lip and press this thing down, but it's not going to go that route. It's going to go up. We're going to push this thing up. Okay, I'm going to cut that lip off then. Take this lip off all the way around. Whole thing coming off. Going to keep these ribs that are in here. That keeps it looking natural. And the other thing is, here the fuel sender, which 56 Beetles don't have one. You're supposed to use a dipstick. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out and move it back. And these are liquid tight, because you can fill the gas tank all the way up to the top of that neck, and it doesn't leak, or at least it's not supposed to leak. So I think that's what I'm going to do is move that on back. And what's going to happen, because now we have this extra capacity with the fuel filler back, or fuel sender back here, it's going to stay full for a lot longer than it ordinarily would, because it has to burn down all the gas that's up here first before that little thing finally starts to drop. You know, I could relocate it to the top, but again, that's going to take away from the stock appearance. Back in here I could lay a piece of carpet over it or something, and it's going to be all done up in the trunk space anyway. So yeah, I think that's what we got going on here. That's what we're going to do. Take that filler out, move it back. First I'm going to make some marks on this thing here. I'm going to draw a line so I know where I need to cut. I'm going to draw around the sender. We're going to cut that out. Take the lip off. And then finally cut the bottom tank, smash the two of them together, and start welding. Well, unfortunately, camera battery died on me, so I went to plug it in to get it charged. And meanwhile, I started cutting. I cut out a box shape here, removed this section, cut out the receiver for the fuel sender, which was up here, and moved it down that amount down here. So this piece moved down. It needs a little more grinding yet. Some of the welds, yeah, that's nice and smooth. It looks a little ugly, but it's actually flat. A little in here needs a little more grinding. And I'll smooth it over with just a little bit of Bondo before I paint it. But that's what that looks like. And this piece goes right over here. Just like that. Now it might look like it's overlapping, but this is a real interesting thing, because if you look, you'll see how this actually bends upwards a little bit. It actually has the same contour as that. So when these two pieces fit together, I'll be able to cut a little box out of here and weld that together, and it should be good to go. I don't see any reason why there'd be a problem there. But yeah, that's how it's going to go together. And I think I nailed it. This is going to look good. Well, anyway, here's what it's going to look like in the car. And it's about 1 3/4 inches taller than what a 56 Beetle tank would be normally stock. But because the tank is mounted lower, it's okay if it's a little higher. Here's what it looks like on the inside. There's the fuel sender. It even has the little channel where the wire can run through, because I kept that there with how I formed it. I don't much like this little corner that's been taken out of here that they did with that aftermarket tank. I don't believe the early Beetle ones are actually that way. That was only done that way probably because they have a standard stamping, and that little section over here normally has a nozzle on here with a rubber that goes up to the fuel filler on a later Beetle, which is 68 and up. So anyway, I think this is going to turn out real nice. Really nice. No complaint from me on this one. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, that darkness you can see over there is actually a storm coming out of the north, so it's a good thing that I'm cutting this off now and starting to clean up the lawn. Yeah, I better put all this away quickly. There's a storm coming big. Big. We're going to have to finish this one later. Oh man, this is going to be a good one. That sucker's coming in fast, really fast. Just in the time it took me to put all my stuff in the garage. That thing is just, wow. Okay, gotta cut that lawn. There's my mow. Cross your fingers, let's hope we get it done before it starts pouring. The temperature must have just dropped about 15 degrees. Wow. In only about, here I'm out of breath. I was running to cut this lawn, and it's probably the sloppiest mow job I've ever given in my life. But, holy crap. This is going to be a good one. It may not last for long with how fast it's moving, but it's going to be a good one. Whew! Alright, I got to put this thing away. I got to bring the ducks in too. Oh, ducks! Where are you? You gotta go in. Here they are. Ducky duckies. I wonder if I can get this thing in here. I got some new equipment blocking it. Holy shit. Wow. This is getting bad. Alright, mower is in. Battery charger has to go back in. I can't believe how dark it's gotten. Still about an hour and a half from sundown. I mean, you can see the daylight over there. Wow. Okay. Put the weed whacker back inside too. You gotta go inside, ducks. You ready to go in? Huh? Bark. I hear you. Uh-oh, power just went out. Power just came back on. This storm is gonna be a son of a bitch. Holy shit, it hasn't even started raining yet. The power's already going on and off. Alright, ducks, you ready? Come on, go inside. Come on, go in, Boomer. Go inside, come on. Go in, go poopy, Skeeter. Do poop. Did you do it? Good girl. Boy, that stunk. Alright, back into the messy garage. And into the house. In the house, good boy. Yep, we got power outage. The only light you see is the reflection from my camera light. Whole damn neighborhood is out. I only see some solar lights on up and down the street. All the way up at the end of the street, however, way up there, you can see some lights because there actually is power way up at the end. But I drove down the other way a couple miles that way, and I mean the power is just out everywhere to the south. There are some houses a block over that way that still have some power too, but none of this has anything to do with the storm that came through. The storm came through and actually we had power surges, and I don't mean brownouts. When a power goes off and comes back on again, that is a brownout. That is not a surge. When the power makes your lights brighter and then they go back to normal, that's a surge. And that's actually what was happening. I was actually watching the lights get brighter and go back to normal brightness. It was really weird. That's not something I normally see. Usually it goes off. But anyway, yeah, we're here tonight with no power. It's been out for the last several hours. It's a pretty big outage. Gulf Power isn't reporting it quite as large as it actually is. There's the moon trying to come through. That's what's left of the storm just blowing away. You still see an occasional lightning blast. It's off the coast right now. So yeah, as always, you guys, give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Make sure you click that little subscribe button down there in the corner. Ring that little dingle belly next to it. That gives you updates every time I upload a new video. And don't forget to check out my other channels, Skeeter the Duck and VV the Duck VV. You'll see a bunch of my other adventures and the other stuff that I get into over there. Thanks for joining me, and we're going to continue this in another video because, well, obviously I can't do a whole lot to finish the gas tank tonight, and I think we got enough content in this to make an entire video. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys later.